Tune in to the Real Estate Roundup with the River Counties Association of Realtors. Join us every last Thursday of the month at 12 p.m. on Fiesta 99.1 and every last Friday of the month at 12 p.m. on The Buzz 101.3 as we explore the latest in local real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or just love real estate, don't miss our expert advice and exclusive insights. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's explore the dynamic world of real estate in our vibrant River Counties community. Catch Real Estate Roundup and make your property dreams a reality.
Welcome, everyone, to this episode of River Counties Real Estate Roundup. My name is Mike Murphy. Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to start us out in a prayer before we start this presentation. Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together today to share this time with Josh McKinney from THDA. You say whenever two or more are gathered in your name that you're here present, and we believe you're present with us here today. We would ask that you open the eyes, the ears, and the hearts of those that are delivering this message, but also those that are in the audience so that they can get what they need out of it. We ask all this through Jesus. Amen. So as I said, my name is Mike Murphy. I've got my friend Josh McKinney here from the THDA, and I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit. Josh and I were talking about this a little before we started the show, but tell you who I am, what I'm about, and who I work for. So first of all, I work with Keller Williams, Cleveland, the office here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated, and they're located at 140 Interstate Drive, Northwest in Cleveland, with a phone number of 423. Oops, that's not their phone number. Hold on one second. I've got it over here. Their phone number is 423-303-1200. That's 423-303-1200. One of the most common questions I receive is, why did I choose real estate? So a little bit about me. I retired about a year ago, and my wife and I moved down here to Cleveland, Tennessee, and I got involved with our church. First of all, I knew that moving was super stressful, and we had a great realtor from Keller Williams, and he was just spot on. He was not a high-pressure salesman. Whenever we needed something, he was there. We obviously were doing things from Chicago versus here, so he's doing FaceTime Live, showing us, and just a good man who was all about the customer experience and service. So I said, that really made an impression on me. So when I got down here, I started going to our church, St. Teresa of Lisieux, and started seeing all the community events, right, the charitable things that they were being involved with helping the community. And so we quickly got involved with that. But I found I wanted to do more because, yes, there were charitable opportunities. I could volunteer, give my service, but I was looking for a financial component because there was always people who needed the extra money. And so I prayed on it, and I started thinking about, God put it on my head about the real estate experience I had. I found it interesting. I thought, wow, I could serve people by helping them find a home, make this extra source of income, and then give it to charitable organizations here in Cleveland and Bradley County. So that's what I've done. And I feel that he's okay with it, because I'll give you a quick example. What I've done is I've dedicated my first fruits. So my first sale of every year, 100% goes to local charities. So if that's $1 million house or a $200,000 house, 100% of that I give to local charities, to the church, and so on. And then each house after that, I give my net proceeds. So obviously there's bills to pay and so on. So I pay those bills, and then the net proceeds I give back to those local charities. And that's been a wonderful blessing for me to be able to do that. I tell you these things, and I mentioned this to you, Josh, also. I tell you these things not to say, hey, Mike, you're such a great guy, but more to ward off the enemy, right? Because I'll tell you the quick story. I had this idea. This is what I want to do. I feel God's behind it. And I'm driving down to Chattanooga with my wife one day. And all of a sudden, I start getting this little voice that says, well, maybe if it's a big money house, maybe you don't have to give it all to the church, or maybe you don't have to give it all. So he just started working on me. So I stopped right away. I tell my wife, I got to tell you something. And she goes, what? She's probably scared because I was very passionate about it. I said, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And I need to be held accountable. So that's why I tell this story. And that's why I tell people I meet, I need to be held accountable, because he will work on you if he gets the opportunity. Mm-hmm. So the next question was, why Keller Williams? So there's many really good, reputable realtors here in Cleveland and Bradley County area. But I guess the main reason is because the experience I had with a Keller Williams agent, right? And I said, and I had a friend back in Chicago, and they told me about all the great training that Keller Williams does and so on and so forth. So that's where I decided to lay my license, was with them. And, as I said, buying homes is really a stressful experience. And if I can do something to bring that down, that's what I wanted to do. I come from a service background, 32 years of service in Chicago, and I just wanted to bring that here. So Keller Williams, a little bit about them and why I chose them and why they're a powerful ally if you're looking to buy or sell a home, is they've been around here in Bradley County since 2007. We're 90 agents strong, and we're the largest real estate brokerage here in Bradley County. Everything we do is supported by the latest training and technology. And when you join KW, I really, and it may sound corny, but I feel like I joined a family. These aren't just people that I'm working with. These are people that are supporting me. If I have questions, if they have questions, we're all there for each other. And when you're buying and selling a home, you need a large network. The bigger your network, the bigger your reach, the better, easier it is to sell that home. So that's what I wanted. Each new agent's provided with a productivity coach. They work with you, they always share the value. And that was the other big thing for me, as you saw when we opened up. Their value is God, family, then business. And I think that besides everything else, that's what hooked me in. That's what I wanted to do. And I wanted an opportunity to help people that are struggling with getting into a home, get into a home. My son, I have a 26-year-old son. I was just telling Gideon, who's doing our taping here today, he's 23, and he agreed. The biggest barrier to getting into a new home right now seems to be that down payment, right? I'm renting. I have the money to pay $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month, right? I can pay that mortgage. I just can't get over that fence to get that down payment in and things like that. And that's why I've asked my friend Josh here to come join us, because I went through a training that he provided through the River County Association of Realtors, and it was all about the THDA, which is the Tennessee Housing Development Authority. And he provided us with programs that they're working with lenders and realtors that help people do just that. They help people make that transition into their first home. It's not only about first homeowner buyer owners, but a good majority of that is. So I've done all the talking here for the most part. Josh, I'd like to just kind of let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about THDA and what they do.
Sure. So as Mike said, I'm with Tennessee Housing Development Agency. I'm a real estate industry advisor there for the East Tennessee region. Been there for a little over 7 years with a background in housing counseling, housing education. I'm a HUD certified housing counselor, but I spend most of my time now working with our realtor partners to ensure that they have the tools they need to make sure that their borrowers, their buyers, are able to access these down payment assistance, low down payment mortgage programs that THDA provides. THDA is your state housing finance agency, so I am a government employee. Pretty much every state in U.S. territory has a state housing agency, housing finance agency, something along those lines. And we're it for Tennessee, and our mission is to create safe, sound, and affordable housing opportunities for moderate to low income Tennesseans. So we're engaged in a number of different services around the state. We provide a lot of programs that help people to access that safe, sound, and affordable housing. We're a pass-through organization as well, so anytime the federal government, Congress, makes any appropriations for that money to come down to the states to go and help the people of the nation, all that money typically goes through THDA. And so our main function, though, as what you've been talking about and alluding to, Mike, is we provide these mortgage programs that feature down payment assistance, low down payment requirements, so that people, the ones that you're talking about, are able to overcome that barrier and jump into homeownership and start paying themselves. I love what you said there, that when you are paying rent, you're paying somebody else's bills, but when you're paying back a mortgage, you're investing in yourself, you're building that equity, you're building your own wealth, and we are behind that 100%.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I heard it, and Michael Parent, who is the director of our car, I think I heard it from him. He said when you're paying rent, you are paying a mortgage. You're just not. You're paying somebody else's.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that really clicked on me. Michael's a smart guy. So what I wanted to do is if you would tell us a little bit, because there's something you just said clicked for me. You said low and moderate income, because I always, when I first got into this, I thought the THDA might be just for low income people, people that were struggling a little bit with their financial situation. But what is the moderate? Can you explain what the low and the moderate is? Kind of.
I appreciate you kind of cluing in on that, Mike, because the reality is there are programs and assistances for low and very low income, and thank goodness there are, because there are lots of people in our communities who need that assistance, and certainly these programs do work really well for low and very low income borrowers. But sometimes those blue collar workers in our communities, those middle class families, they don't have access as much to these assistance programs and opportunities, and so this program, it has income guidelines that go significantly higher than maybe what you'd realize. For example, depending on what county you're trying to purchase in the state of Tennessee, we can go all the way up to $150,000, maximum purchase price of a $400,000 home. And so, like you said, sometimes you just assume that government programs, they're for low and very low income individuals, but we can help folks, with higher incomes and really trying to purchase those more higher priced homes in a moderate range, not mansions, but 400,000, that's a lot of room to work with and can help a lot of people.
Yeah, we were discussing, just ran some of the numbers based out of the MLS, shows that somewhere between $300,000 and $350,000 seems to be the median home price here in Bradley County. Yeah. And we were talking about this nationally. It's somewhat similar, obviously a little higher in bigger cities, but $400,000 will get you a nice house.
Absolutely. That's right where we want to be. We don't want to leave anyone who could take advantage of a program like this, to the side. We want to make it available to as many people as possible.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You've got a couple of programs that we're going to talk about. So there's the Great Choice Mortgage Loan Programs, and you have two products under that, if I'm not mistaken. One's the Great Choice Home Loans, and then the second is the Great Choice Home Ownership for Heroes. Could you tell us a little bit about those? Sure.
I think the first thing I really need to say up front, Mike, since it's so key to understanding what these programs provide, is the down payment assistance and kind of what that looks like.
Yes.
It works for this program as well as the program we're going to talk about in a moment, but through THDA's Great Choice and the next product we're going to talk about, you can have an option of really going about it two ways. You can get 5% of the sales price up to $15,000 max provided to you as down payment assistance. So in other words, you get your mortgage financed, and then you get a second mortgage of up to 5% or $15,000, and then you can turn around and use that $15,000 max to pay those upfront costs, right? But when you buy a house, maybe a lot of people don't know this, maybe listeners don't even understand or realize this, but there are upfront costs associated with home ownership and home purchasing that you really have to be prepared for, in addition to just being able to move, and being able to buy the furniture you need. You've got closing costs, fees, all these different things, down payment requirements. And so that's where you use this money. You use this 5%, $15,000 to pay those upfront costs, so that, we're in a tough economy right now. Folks are struggling. Prices are going up. Interest rates are going up. It's certainly more difficult today to save those upfront costs than really maybe in many years that it has been before. So with a program like this, the first option, $15,000, 5%, you can take that income, that money, and use that to handle those upfront costs, down payment and closing costs. The other option is a $6,000 option. So instead of giving you that $15,000 or 5%, we just give you $6,000. And the nice benefit of this one is that it's a loan as well, but on this one, it's a 0% interest loan.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Everybody loves
I like
that, right?
that
Yeah. 0%. I'll say it again. That's the big moneymaker. 0%. No payments, no interest accruing. You can turn around, take that $6,000, use that to pay the upfront costs or a portion of it, right? And then you only have to pay that back if you sell or refinance. And the intention is that by the time you do sell or refinance, you've built some equity, your home's appreciated,
Sure.
and so we take that money, we give it to somebody else who needs it, right? And so really, whichever option works best for you, you and your lender will determine, what is the best financial reality for you. But we just try to provide some sort of assistance there to kind of jumpstart, so that instead of waiting 3 or 4 or 5 years while you're saving money, maybe you can get into homeownership today. Because what you said is true. People are paying rent.
Yeah.
They are making a large housing payment. If we can get you into homeownership today, you're going to be able to enjoy the benefits immediately, and that's what we're all about.
I've got a neighbor right now, and that's why this also was intriguing to me. I've got a neighbor, they're paying $3,000 a month.
Wow.
$3,000 a month on a home they're renting.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too busy in my neighbor's business.
Right.
I'm like, maybe they don't know.
Right.
And that's a thing. People talked about real estate when I got into the business. You got to tell people you're in real estate, or they don't know you're in real
Exactly.
estate. You got to tell people about these programs, or they don't know about these programs. Those sound too. Well, tell me about the home ownership for heroes.
Yeah, let me talk now about the programs, because I kind of talked about the down payment assistance. So that's the same for both of our programs.
Okay.
But yeah, for Great Choice Home Loans, you've got an option of 2 different products. This Great Choice Home Loan is available in all 95 counties of Tennessee for all eligible applicants. So right off the top, you don't have any restriction about where you have to live or anything like that.
That's great.
You can access it wherever. And then you've got some eligibility criteria, which I think we'll get into in a moment. But the other option, this home ownership for heroes that you referenced, this is a special product that THDA offers to individuals who we consider are serving in hero professions. Now, Mike, you said that you retired earlier from 32 years of service. I don't know if you mentioned law enforcement, police force in Chicago, and so thank you so much for what you did for your community. And
You're worth it, brother.
Well, we appreciate that. But we feel like individuals who are serving in those roles or who've retired from those roles, they really need a big thank you, because they've sacrificed so much for their community in order to be able to serve in those roles. So what we do is we offer them a rate reduction. So if you are an individual who is a military or a veteran, if you are a first responder, that includes police officers, firefighters, paid and volunteer, paramedics, EMTs, and then finally anyone serving as an officer in our correction system. So officers in prisons, parole officers. What we do then, if you're eligible, we give you a 0.5% off of your interest rate. And as you know, that percentage rate, that could be potentially thousands of dollars, right? And so anyone who is serving in those areas, if they're eligible for the product, not only do they get the down payment assistance if they need it, but now they've got that interest rate reduction, which every little bit helps in this economy.
Absolutely, it does. There's another program that you guys that you mentioned during the training that I'd like you to talk about, if you would. It's the Freddie Mac HFA Advantage Conventional Mortgage.
Absolutely, yeah.
What is that, and how does it differ from the Great Choice product?
Sure. So the Great Choice product, that is primarily a first-time homebuyer program.
Okay.
And so it is mostly for individuals who have never owned a home or haven't owned a home in the last 3 years and lived in it as their primary residence. We use the HUD definition. It doesn't make sense, really. That, you think first-time homebuyer, you've never owned a home before, but the way HUD defines it, can't have owned a home in the last 3 years, we'll take it, right? Okay. And so the Great Choice program is for individuals most of the time who are in that situation. They're going to be first-time home buyers. And by the way, 33% of all borrowers, Mike, I don't know if you knew this, are first-time home buyers.
Wow.
So, third of the market potential clientele going to be first-time home buyers. We'll take advantage of that program. Freddie Mac HFA Conventional, however, is not a first-time homebuyer program. It offers the same down payment assistance. It offers the same competitive rate structure, but it also features a repeat buyer eligible program. So you could turn around, sell a house, go to purchase a new house, and then if you're eligible, again, all 95 counties, you meet our eligibility criteria, you can take advantage of that program, get the down payment assistance.
Yeah. It sounds like 2 great programs.
Sure.
Which seems to be the most popular right now?
Well, we have done Great Choice for a long time.
Okay.
And Great Choice.
It's got the track record.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's been around for decades, and typically Great Choice loans are going to be FHA, VA, USDA, which are really competitive products on the
Yeah.
market right
Yeah.
now. Freddie Mac is interesting in that it's a conventional loan, right? It's 97% financed, so it only requires a 3% down payment.
Wow.
So that's really
Huge.
nice,
That's
absolutely. But it's newer. It came out in July.
I'm sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
go ahead.
I think a lot of people, including myself at the time, said if I go a conventional loan, I need to put 20%
20%,
down.
got to have it. You
But
can't.
you can get into it
Exactly.
with 3.5% down.
Well, 3% for the Freddie Mac.
3%.
Yeah, 3%.
Wow.
And we'll give you 5% down payment assistance.
Yeah.
So virtually 100% financed if you're taking advantage of that down payment assistance.
So how do people that are hearing this message right now, how do they find out more?
Yeah, absolutely.
They can call me. My number's on the screen.
Call Mike, right?
Call me, and
Yeah.
I certainly will help you. Work with a lot of lenders.
Sure.
And here in Cleveland and Bradley County. But is that the pathway? Is it basically start talking with a lender, start sitting down and seeing what your financial situation is?
Yeah, you got it, Mike. So
Okay.
so we have a website, THDA.org. I think we're going to put that on the screen so everybody can see that. But
Okay.
THDA, www.thdA.org. We have a Find a Lender tool on our website. And so what we do is we partner with lenders all across the state for both programs. These lenders will be approved to offer these programs. And basically your first step is to go talk to one of those lenders and submit your application, and the lender will take it from there. They'll
Okay.
collect all the documentation they need. They'll get it submitted to underwriting. That file will go under review, and then eventually it'll come to us just to make check everybody's boxes, make sure everything was done correctly, and then you'll close on a home and be a homeowner. So first step, got to talk to that lender, and so it's always helpful. And we got great realtor partners like you to help the clients choose that lender, get someone who's going to really take care of their needs and
Yeah.
give them all the options. And so that's why you're such a valuable part of the process.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of great lenders that I've had the privilege of working with here in Tennessee. And how does somebody become a lender with your product? Do they have to go through a course?
Sure.
Or training?
So there's information on our website, THDA.org.
Okay.
But yeah, they submit an application. They agree to do 5 a year. We require our lenders to do 5 of these loans, Great Choice loans, or Freddie Mac HFA Advantage loans a year. And then they have to go through some backroom training. And when we say backroom, that's some industry parlance. The reviewers, the processors, the closers who are packaging the loans and underwriting the loans, they're the ones that really need to understand the ins and outs of the program. And so we ask them to go through training. But yeah, after that has been completed, maybe a 6 to 8 week process, they become approved lenders. We add them to our list, and then they're welcome to give it to their loan officers to start the program out.
Yeah, and we've got quite a few of them here in Bradley County
Yeah.
and the Cleveland area as well. One of the things I wanted to ask you also is if you're talking to the people listening right now, and it's that person that, again, just doesn't feel they can get in there, what message would you like to tell them?
So I think the main message I'd want folks to know is that there are options. I think that's the thing. When you live in a time where it seems like things are a little wild, and we won't talk about it, Mike, but it does seem like things are a little wild, right? And
It
things
seems to
are
be crazy.
Absolutely.
In every generation.
Absolutely,
but this
right.
is the one we're living in.
Things are a little difficult, and maybe the economy's not working out the way you want it to work out,
Yeah.
and you're not where you want to be, and it can feel oppressive, especially when you're renting. Like we've talked about. I can't imagine your neighbor in that $3,000 renting a month. It can feel like you just can't get out of that, right? And there's no options. You're helpless, and what are we going to do, right? But that's really not the case. There are options. There are opportunities that you can take advantage of, and so it's all about learning about things like what we're talking about today. Learning about low down payment mortgage programs, down payment assistance programs. There are other assistance programs that other entities across the state are involved in. Those are a lot of times regional based, credit union programs or special loan programs with other nonprofit agencies. So it really is important for folks to, instead of putting their head down, lift their head up, look around, do a little bit of research, keep that spirit up, keep that heart up, and then go and see what you can find. Because if you do that and you talk to professionals like yourself, I think a lot of times you start to realize, okay, well, maybe there actually is a way to move forward where I thought I was going to have to wait, like you said, 5, 10, 15 years to save 20%. Maybe I don't have to do that. And so it's all about what you know, who you know, and who you can talk to. And if you really have that attitude and adopt that mindset, there's really no obstacle you can't overcome. I mean, seriously, I've seen a lot of people, as a housing counselor, I've seen a lot of people come into my office and say, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Here's my problem. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's sit down. Let's move through this. Maybe it's not really a problem. Maybe it's an opportunity.
Yeah,
let's work
like
together and let's create a plan. And when you do those sorts of things, a lot of times you're going to find a way through, and that's what we're all about, Mike, is helping people find a way through. And so that's what I tell folks, think about the options and the resources and the opportunities we're talking about today, in addition to everything else that might be out there, and make sure you're taking advantage of that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yep, fear. I think there's a lot of that fear that I can't do it. It's not me. And as I've mentioned, that's not God. God is love, and fear is what's holding us back.
Sure.
So, and it's simple. Make that call. Pick up the phone. Call me. Call your local lender. Check out the THDA website. And just start looking into it. Maybe it's not the time. Maybe this isn't going to be the time. But at least you're going to get some good information. Let me share something. Anybody who may not know, prices of houses are going to probably just keep going up. So now don't put that off, right? Now is the time to get into the real estate. Now is the time to get your home. Now is the time to look and see if you can make your dream come true. And it's through programs like this, good people like you, the state of Tennessee, and our realtors that are going to make that happen.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for your time today, Josh. I appreciate you being here. You took a 2-hour drive down here to give this message. That was very kind of you.
My pleasure, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'd like to just thank a few people. First and foremost, I want to thank Jesus. I told Josh I was going to put him on my list first, and then I thought, well, maybe I could bump him down a second. Thank you to my family, my wife, my son, my sisters, everybody who supported me through my journey. My father, who was able to help me with my first down payment and so on. I'd like to thank Michael Parent and the staff at River County's Association of Realtors for all they do to support us. Steve Black, who's my principal broker at Keller Williams Cleveland, and all my colleagues there. I'd also like to thank Gideon here, who's doing the taping behind the scenes for us, and Mix 104.1, along with the Buzz and the Fiesta channels, and all their staff for providing these opportunities to get a message like this out to the public that may not normally be able to have. So appreciate all your help today, and thanks, and have a safe trip back. Bye-bye.
Do you imagine a career with flexibility and limitless income potential? It's possible by becoming a Realtor. The River Counties Association of Realtors, located right here in Cleveland, Tennessee, is ready to help you unlock your potential. We're your go-to resource for guiding you to obtain your Tennessee real estate license. We're more than just realtors. We're a vital part of our community. Partnering with local charities, we work tirelessly to make a difference. Join the River Counties Association of Realtors today, where your career can thrive and community can too. Visit rivercounties.com or call 423-476-5912. Your new path awaits.